This video has kindly been sponsored by CrowdScores, the app that allows you to chat with other fantasy football users and be notified of goals and assists from all your fantasy players. Download the app now using the link in the description.
Warning, this video contains team selection and captain choices which some viewers may find offensive.
Hey guys, and welcome back to FPL TV. With Game Week 13 now thankfully in the past, let's review how my team performed before swiftly moving on to Game Week 14. And seeing how miserable a game week it was, I'll keep this short if you don't mind. It was an abysmal display from my defence last week, with 0 from Fabianski and a point apiece between the other 3. Cheers lads. I think a lot of us fancied a clean sheet for Wolves at home to Huddersfield, but unfortunately it wasn't to be, with an Aaron Moy masterclass breaking our hearts within 5 minutes. There were some positives in midfield, with my captain Mo Salah keeping up the consistent goal scoring, and owning Raheem Sterling for another big score was also pleasing. But his 16 points wasn't enough to save my game week, and big scores from Sterling can only go so far without captaining the informed winger. My new signing Richarlison obviously blanked at home to Cardiff, as did my second new signing Jimenez, who blanked at home to Huddersfield and had a chance cleared off the line. To make things even worse, after remaining patient with Roberto Firmino through so many game weeks, I finally transfer out the Brazilian and he goes on to score a soul-destroying 12 points away to Watford. Gut-wrenchingly painful. There's not much that needs to be said about Callum Wilson this game week, the guy simply doesn't score whenever I own him. So for Game Week 13, 45 points with a -4 hit, so 41 in total. It takes my overall score to 796 and it's a big red arrow down to 90k in the rankings. Quite frankly, a shocker of a game week, but with Game Week 14 just 2 days away, at least we don't have to wait too long to put it behind us. So let's gladly move on to Game Week 14 now and see if I can put things right for this weekend's fixtures. There's no confirmed transfers for Game Week 14 as of yet, and to be honest, ideally I'd like to keep it that way. There are some very tempting options cropping up though, such as Leroy Sané at home to Bournemouth. But with my midfield already packed full of high-priced players, the only way I could make a move for him would be to drop the likes of Hazard or Salah before a home fixture, so most likely just one for the watch list for now. As you probably know by now, I do like to take a punt here and there, and as crazy as it may sound, I'm tipping Wilfried Zaha to do well at home to Burnley this week, and he's someone I've considered as a Callum Wilson replacement. But the likelihood is I'll just save a transfer this week and then have 2 free at my disposal for Game Week 15. So let's look at how my team is currently lining up for Friday's deadline, and any further changes will be posted over on the FPL TV Twitter page. The likelihood is I'll be fielding a 4-4-2 this week, with the talented Wan-Bissaka finally coming back into the side for a nice home fixture. Palace come off the back of an impressive clean sheet performance away to United, so that should give them confidence heading into this game against a struggling Burnley. 3 of my back 4 boast home fixtures this week, so I'm really expecting some decent returns from the lads here. My midfield also looks particularly strong on paper this week, with Hazard, Sterling and Salah all at home too. Granted, there are some concerns over Eden Hazard's injury this week, but we should hopefully get more news on this during Sarri's Europa League press conference. And let's be fair, if it's bad news, it's an easy switch to Leroy Sané. My weak link this week is arguably Richarlison, who faces a very difficult test away to a defensively sound Liverpool. I won't expect much from him in Game Week 14, but I brought him in as a long-term pick in my side. My budget-friendly strike force of Arnautovic and Jimenez complete my side, but I can't say I'm feeling too optimistic about these two, so let's hope they can surprise me. Arnautovic has been a frustrating player to own of late, returning very few points and seemingly always being injured. His long run of good fixtures are hard to ignore though, so providing he stays fit, the plan is to keep faith with the Austrian forward. For captaincy this week, the obvious choice seems to be the informed Raheem Sterling, with City averaging over 3 goals per game. However, there is some reservation there, with him playing a full 90 during the Champions League fixture, so there is that small threat of rotation. The only positive there is that teammate Riyad Mahrez also played the full 90, and in Sterling's current form, surely Pep won't bench him for this one. It could be best this week to not overthink it and simply leave it on Sterling for Game Week 14. As for the bench this week, currently both my Bournemouth assets Wilson and Fraser will miss out. They're away to Man City this week, who in the league simply aren't conceding goals. Knowing my luck though, Callum Wilson will probably bag double digits once I bench him, genuinely one of the game's greatest ever trolls. So that's how my team is currently shaping up for Game Week 14, but if I do have any updates, I'll be sure to post them over on the FPL TV Twitter page. For anyone watching, don't forget this week's deadline is Friday evening this time, so be careful not to miss that one. Good luck to all of you for Game Week 14, FPL responsibly, and I'll catch you all soon.